Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and boy oh boy, if you haven't been living under a rock, we've had some major controversy in regards to HellDivers 2. Everybody from every side of the fence in regards to PlayStation, in regards to Xbox, in regards to, of course, PC Nation out there, the PC elitists. Everybody has an opinion on this, for better or worse. Lots of controversy going on, so this is going to be that themed HellDivers 2 controversy Salty Batch Files episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is go over the HellDivers 2 controversy that's been taking the nation by storm. Right? Worldwide, I would even say at this point, because it affects everybody worldwide at this point. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop up my very own tweet. Yeah, my very own tweet here that I knew I had before I created other posts and stuff like that. Me stating, in regards to an article, you'll need a Microsoft account to play Sea of Thieves on PS5, as you can see. Oh, ... then never mind, I'll pass. Simple. Not making a big hubbub about it. Not a fan of connecting it. Like I said, so I get the understatement of why people don't want to have multiple launchers, why they don't want to have multiple accounts you have to sign into, whether they eventually become automatic or not. It's just kind of a pain, more of an annoyance. I 100% understand that. Clearly, if you follow my channel, clearly if you see what I have, I ended up buying Grounded. I ended up buying Sea of Thieves. Both of them. If you enjoy those games, that's fine. I think I'll be going back to Grounded here and there. Sea of Thieves is very mid to me. I really am disappointed in that one personally. Just wasn't the attention getter. Maybe it'll hook into me later, I don't know. Point being, all aside of that stuff there, you know, I get the annoyance of it. That I 110% understand. But to the point where you're boycotting and this, that, and the other, that's I won't ever get to that point. I'm never going to throw a fit and lead some sort of mutiny across the industry to have people follow and, you know, refund or just boycott this and that. However, just kind of wanted to share that with you here. So as we continue on, like I said, this is in regards to HellDivers, and this is why it's the same theme. So as we pull up something here, we got, again, Beast of Truth back. He can't keep his foot out of his mouth. So as you can see here, the rise and fall of HellDivers 2 needs to be studied. Now, more context on HellDivers 2. What has happened, like I mentioned, it is required to have a Microsoft, or a PlayStation Network account rather, to have installed or to have it linked in order to play this game now. This is a games as a service game. This is a multiplayer only game. You're playing on an online server all the time because everything's working in real time. So you need to have that account linked. The controversy behind this is the fact that you didn't need this right out the gate. And there's some reasonings why, and we'll get to that here towards the end of the video, so please stay tuned. So, like I said, it needs to be studied. The rise and fall needs to be studied. Your brain needs to be studied because you have a lot of other things to worry about rather than HellDivers, which you apparently aren't even playing or haven't even played, the last I gather, in the information that you've been sharing. But yes, please put your opinion on the matter for a game you haven't touched. But let's keep going here. So, like I was saying, we're gonna put this up here. Sony, PlayStation, like 99.9% of other companies, doesn't let you choose Iran when you want to sign up because of sanctions, but hundreds of thousands of Iranians are users of PSN from PS3 days until now without any problem. My main account is UAE, and I have a US account for PS Plus 2, both from 13 years ago without any problem. Let me show the other portion of this here. Someone asked an actual rep that you can ask via the app or online at Sony's website, PlayStation's website. I just had a quick question on if a friend who lived in a country not currently supported by PlayStation Network, would they be able to make an account using another country as their location instead? They state, "Thank you for the reply. As long as the currency can't be a problem for him or her, whoever, yes, he can create his account in another country." Simple as that. People are on stating this is a violation of terms of service. Now, I'm not going to condone anybody violating terms of service. But in theory, or in factuality, if you are, let's say, I don't know if Singapore's a country, we can use Iran, I guess, and you need to make an account for HellDivers 2 or whatever the case is, or just an account in general for PSN, right? You don't necessarily have to be in the US to make a US account, and a Canadian account, Australian, all that stuff, right? You can create that. No one's going to go in there and look at your net address and be like, well, this guy hasn't visited the US or Canada or wherever, in 5 years. We're just going to cut this off. This is clearly a fraudulent account, yada, yada, yada. You're not doing anything. That's not to say that you won't ever move to said country. That's not to say that you didn't come from that country at some point. Who knows? Or you had the intention to go to another country. So I'm just stating that there are opportunities that nobody's going to go out there. Nobody from Sony is going to go out there and be like, oh man, they're violating terms of service. They can't be doing this. Okay? I don't see that happening. Please, if you do have out there, if you're watching this video, if you do have more information in regards to that there is some sort of caveat or some sort of loophole that I am currently unaware of, that you can, see those violations that has been done or could potentially truly be done. Do we have an example? All that stuff. Please let me know down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to be corrected on that, but for everything that I've gathered and researched, that has not been the case. Let's keep going on because there is a lot of stuff here I want to get through. Now, just a quick map too. This is just a quick map someone shared, and this is showing where you can and cannot utilize a PSN account. Create one, right? The blue is where you can, the gray is where you cannot. Unfortunately, the same thing happens with Nintendo accounts. The same things happen with Microsoft accounts. So it's not just PlayStation, it's not just Sony, but everybody's just dogpiling on. Everybody's salty. This is a salty batch file saying we have some more examples of that stuff, but it is the theme. Everybody wants to create that salt and hate right now because it's the cool thing to do. PC players, most of them, they're Xbox refugees, so to speak, and also the PC elitists always have been there for a very long time, also dislike PlayStation, and so they're going to run with this narrative, and they're going to keep going and making it much worse than it is. And it's not a great thing, don't get me wrong, I'm not on that side of the fence either, and we'll go over that as well. So, I want to share something from a good dude, the generic Eric here. All the PC mustard race Port Beggars are whining and crying they gotta link up a PSN account, but they're totally fine with Origins, Steam, Microsoft, Ubisoft, ABK app, Battle.net, Epic, Discord, Xbox Live. And then he states, clowns are lucky you aren't being forced to pay for PS Plus as well, which is true. Currently, PC players do not have to pay for PS Plus. That is a caveat with playing PlayStation games right now online. We'll see if that changes. Again, we'll go over to that some more. So here's another good one from Dinkster here. This is what I love, the hypocrisy of it all. Literally all people are asking is, don't force another account linking, especially from a company with bad security in the past. Now, this is the big one that they get salty about. They run with misinformation in the narratives, right? PlayStation's the only one that's ever had security hacks, that ever had data breaches, that ever had information leaked out. Well, I'm just going to keep pointing these up here. They're going to keep pow 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 right here. So Valve, hackers assessed Steam users' encrypted passwords, credit cards. Hackers gain unauthorized access to user information on the digital video game distribution service Steam last weekend. The company that runs the services said that was back in 2011. So it's happened even from back then. Steam store spreads malware after hacker hijacks developer accounts. Gosh, that's another example there. Steam user accounts compromised due to password reset vulnerability. Ooh, that was even in 2015, not too long ago. 77,000 Steam accounts are hacked and raided every month. Yikes. Yikes. Well, folks, that's only PlayStation, right? Microsoft has the same ones. Look it up. Now, the rebuttal with Microsoft is they like to state, well, Microsoft's bigger than just Xbox, that's why. Well, Sony's also bigger than just PlayStation with music, movies, etc., etc. what are we doing here? You tell other people they're bootlickers, that they're shills, this, that, and the other, but you don't worry about your own backyard. Simple as that. Let's keep going here. Pilestead. Now, this is one of the main devs from HellDivers. This is the main dev, right? One of the ones working on it, active in the community, active in social media. Waking up, because he's upset about this, waking up to the sunshine of yesterday replaced with a dreary drizzle and shivering winds makes me reflect on how I spent my time those rare few months and moments when all was perfect. Yet rain is essential to growth and is what changes spring into summer. I will just have to wait for sunshine to return. Just kind of wanted to share that because he does feel it. He's in a rock and a hard place in a way, but he states more here, and we're going to get to that as well. But I just think it's super interesting, right? It's really interesting, but let's pop up the other piece from him here. All right, and so he shares that I do have a part to play. I'm not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account linking at launch so that players could play the game. I did not ensure players were aware of the requirement, and we didn't talk about it enough. We knew for about 6 months before launch that it would be mandatory for online PS titles. Let that sink in. So one thing I want to say is, like I said, he's a really good guy. He's a really good person. And he does what a good leader does, what a great leader does. He takes accountability for actions and what has happened and stuff like that. So he feels it. He knows. I think ultimately, I know they really wanted to, probably for the shareholders, simultaneously release this for PlayStation and PC at once, but I do think the PC version needed to be delayed until that happened. I'm sure he was maybe part of bought into the hype, yeah, let's do it. It's going to be great. Let's have fun. Let's see what happens. Again, this game defied all expectations, broke through the glass ceiling of what was going to be, certain aspects and what was regarded as a success. It shattered that ceiling, and it found great success. So this is a minor setback. They're still well above what they should be. The reviews have dropped drastically because, of course, the PC elitists being the Karens of the world. And I understand some of the frustration. I understand some of it not right. But those doing the faux outrage for those living currently in countries and still have access to the game, refunding it like my good bud here, TV Trip. I do have to call him out on that because I do think it's silly. He's had it. It works for where he's at, but the faux outrage, he doesn't stand for it not working in other countries and stuff like that. Look, they're obviously going to do something. And when I say they, I mean the devs of HellDivers 2 as well as Sony. They're going to figure something out. It's going to be a crap storm for a couple weeks here, max, and they're going to figure something out, or they're at least going to give some sort of notification of what the plan will be. This is not something that should affect you if you're not affected. It should be affecting those, and those that should be upset are the ones that were affected in the countries that you cannot get that without, again, reverting back to creating a different account, right, outside of the States or outside of your country where PSN is available to create an account. That being said, sorry, there's a lot to say there, but I just have to get that out. But it's just faux outrage, right? Simple as that. In regards to those that do currently have access. Are you not drinking water anymore to protest those countries that can't get clean and good water? Are you not going out to restaurants because those countries cannot eat proper meals, good food, non-contaminated foods, stuff like that? So if you're going to take your just cause, maybe take that a step further and do some other, protesting and word of mouth and other good attributes that you can do. Not in regards to as HellDivers not available to another country, so you shouldn't play it kind of thing. That to me seems absurd. That's why I want to call that out, but I digress. Let's keep going. The Gaming Profit NYC. Sony quickly killed one of its most successful online multiplayer games. Damn shame. So Sony doubles down on HellDivers 2 PSN requirement by taking it off sale for PS in numerous countries, which they did. The other thing to do is, you're right. If we keep offering it, Steam's going to get upset because Steam's doing a great thing. Steam's offering the refunds. You can indeed refund it, even if it's been past 2 hours and such right now. They understand the situation. Good on them. High praise to them. They've always been great. One of the crappiest things, and I've said this multiple times, is PlayStation's return or refund policy is absolute garbage. That's something I wish we would put more emphasis and more pressure in on them of. That's something that drastically needs to change. Even Microsoft does a much better job. I haven't looked too much into Nintendo, so please let me know down in the comments below if Nintendo has a very strict policy or how theirs looks. But that is something PlayStation needs to work on. However, back to NYC here. Wow. So again, a game that he has not played, and I have high sources stating he has not played this in any way, shape, or form. I love how they have an opinion on it. But again, he had previous quotes stating it wasn't that popular and that it was going to die off quickly but now he's back, being the hypocrite he is, stating that it was a damn popular game, one of their most successful games, and it was indeed a popular game. It's a damn shame. The biggest hypocrite out there, a guy that doesn't even play games. So if you do see him online, you got to pay it no mind as we continue on here. So, Kofi here. In 2024, this weird static between the PC players and PlayStation players needs to end for real. Kofi, unfortunately, it will not, because PC elitists, again, are a lot of, like what Ghost in the Shell here says. This is why I included it. All it is most of these PC guys are Xbox refugees, so they brought their dumbass Xbox takes to PC, and the cycle continues. It is what it is. That's why I pay PC guys no mind, which is true. But it is a little bit of the PC peeps. It's not every single one out there, right? Just like not every single Xbox fan's considered what is considered an Xbox Xbot, right? Or an extremist, an eccentric. Just the same as PC fans, right? Not all of you are those elitists out there and so on and so forth there. So just kind of keep that in mind. But at the same time, Ghost in the Shell is 100% right here. A lot of Xbox camp refugees, so they still have that disdain towards Sony and PlayStation, and so do the PC elitists, because they want those games day one. They have that superiority complex, on and on and on. So as we continue here, so there's a couple things here. I wanted to fit more in here, but I don't want to make this video extremely too long. We may have to do a part 2 to this because there's just so much, but we'll see. I'd like to see what kind of happens out of the outcome. But just a couple quick references before we get to a couple quick videos here without making this too long, is that Red Dragon, and I'll post that up here, did post that before they had this in the lingo, right? In the lingo of words. He posted this, as you can see right here. Nowhere does it say that you have to have a PSN account or that it would happen. Now let's take a look here later, which a lot of folks are pointing out, and they don't realize they don't have the screen that Red Dragon had. Now you're armed with crossplay and required specs to go on your very first dive. It's not much longer to wait. Recruits Helldiver 2 is launching on February 8th, and pre-orders are open now. We can't wait to see you on the battlefield. So it does specify that it is going to come, but again, that's not something I would read. I don't sit there and read all these fine lines of print and all that stuff either, so I would have just missed it whether it was there in the beginning or not. That's naysay at this point, in my opinion. But Red Dragon does bring up a good point, and you have to hold PlayStation accountable when it comes to that stuff, and I do the same. They have to be accountable. I think A, the game should have been delayed for PC until they figured out what they wanted to do, and B, they need to have some sort of statement or communication coming out stating to fix what's going on, right? To fix what's going on, and because clearly the words were not there, and stating it was optional, and now we have words that is stating more so that it's going to be required. So there's a lot to unpack there, folks, a lot to unpack, but let's get to a quick TikTok video. I don't know if this will compress. We may have to cut this part out. We'll see, but take a look.
Time to play some Halo.
Hey, Microsoft here. You're gonna need an Xbox account to play Halo.
Sure, that's no big deal. I'll go ahead and make an account real quick. Also, I think I'm gonna download Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hey, Rockstar here. You're actually gonna need to make a Rockstar account to play Red Dead 2 as well.
That's fine. As long as I can play Red Dead Redemption 2, I am happy. I'm also thinking about playing some HellDivers 2 as well.
Hey, Sony here.
Oh no you don't, PlayStation. How dare you?
What?
Making me create an account to play a game is absolutely wrong. I can't believe you would stoop so low against us PC players.
Hey, Ubisoft here. I saw that you have Rainbow Six downloaded on Steam. You're gonna need a Ubisoft account if you want to play it.
Oh, sure. No problem. Now, where was I?
Oh yes, you realize that we are the superior platform. How can you enforce these rules on us?
But you were just fine with...
Do you understand that you are going to destroy gaming with this decision? You should be ashamed of yourself.
All right, and like you can see, there is a lot of hypocrisy involved in regards to that. Now, this is in regards to those that do have a PSN account availability to them in their country. If they don't, again, that's out of their hands in a way, unless they do what we mentioned in the beginning of the video, right? It's unfortunate, but the hypocrisy of it all, of like, yeah, all these are okay. However, when it comes to a PlayStation account, it's not going to happen. Now, let's quickly turn our attention to the greatest gaslighter ever, Destin Legary from IGN, having his own channel separate from them. But here, oh my goodness, take a look.
Of a day, it's disastrous. It's a huge negative impact to the game, a game that is a great game that now requires you to have a second app installed, and it's just a frustrating outcome for a developer that unfortunately just really cares about making a great game and a great experience for their players. They must be stuck in some sort of contract where they have to do this. And I'm confused because Sony doesn't require it for Destiny, and they now own Bungie. I have to imagine that's coming. I imagine every game that comes to Steam is now going to require a PlayStation Network sign-on, and the next earnings report, they're going to talk about, oh, look at all these new users we got. So let me know what you think about this. This was something that they said was required when you purchased the game. Then they were having server issues, so they didn't implement it, and now they're having to enforce it. I think it's a mess. I think they should go back on it if they possibly can. I hope they tried to push to not do this with Sony before it happened, and hopefully a good outcome comes of it. But right now, I'm not loving the idea of everybody needing to have a PSN just to play a game that they already own and have been playing happily.
All right, so the good old Destin Legary's out for the people all of a sudden again. And again, part of what he says is correct, right? It is unfortunate. I don't think it's a good look. It is going to hinder things in a way, all that good stuff. But as he brings up like Destiny and such, that's what I was waiting for this video before I addressed myself. If this is just the start of it, PC folks, for HellDivers 2, it's probably going to be coming for games like Destiny. Any other iteration there. Any other games as a service going forward. I haven't heard personally, again, let me know down in the comments below, if Ghost of Tsushima, which is coming out soon, the Online Legends mode, I don't know if that's going to require a PSN network link. I don't know any of that. I don't know if PlayStation is going to end up making it so you have to pay for PS Plus to play their games online for the non-free-to-play games. I don't know. So I don't think they will, because that would rub a lot of PC folks the wrong way. However, if the games are good enough, you're going to pay them. You're going to play them one way or the other. If you're a gamer, the game's good enough, the hype's out there, the FOMO's there, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So that being said, this video is a little bit long. I do apologize, but a lot of good information, a lot of good stuff to go over. A lot of folks wanted me to talk about this. So I wanted to integrate that with the Salty Batch files. It all fits together. All that good stuff there. So that being said, we'll wrap up the video here. We may have more to report on that, of course, as time goes on. But I do want to give a quick shout out yet again. At this point in time, we are at 1,703 subscribers, close to that 2,000 subscriber goal. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you enjoying and watching the content that I enjoy bringing to you. So thanks again. And that being said, if you haven't already, definitely leave a like. Comment down below, helps out the algorithm so much. And of course, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. And of course, the final piece of advice I want to leave you with today is remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see you guys next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.